Welcome everyone to the winter solstice celebration, December 20th, 2024. I'm Kathy Forrest, as most of you already know, and I am very excited to be here with all of you today. Let's call in some sacred peace. All right, let's take a big deep breath in. As you exhale, oh my goodness. Let those grounding cords drop into the earth. Hopefully all of you can feel it. I can feel it. We're just right at the crest. So just let yourself feel held. Feel Mama's juice just anchoring us to the planet. And then inhale, draw that earth energy up through your body. Send it up and out through the top of the head, connecting with the heart of the divine above us. And then inhaling, draw that cosmic energy down through your body. Send it all the way down into the earth, activating the as above, so below. And we become the conduits for that energy. Activating the as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give such great thanks for this beautiful planet that we live on and these beautiful bodies that we live in. Moving to the south, we welcome water and clear, clean, current emotions. We welcome love, joy, flow, and abundance. Moving to the west, we welcome air, mind, thought, word, and all of our guides, angels, allies, and helpers. And moving to the east, we welcome fire, movement, passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we welcome our divine feminine and our divine masculine in sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy down through our bodies. We call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into the circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, and dance with us for our mutual benefit. I hope. Here we go. Everybody get up there. Good to have all of you today. So, I want all of us to just take a minute. Where I am, it's bright and sunny. It doesn't feel like the longest night of the year yet. It's very beautiful outside right now, but I want us to get quiet for just a minute. Just close your eyes, drop into your bodies. The solstice is tomorrow morning at 3:21 a.m. Central Time, 4:21 a.m. Eastern Time, and even earlier as we go farther to the west. So we're in the window. This is the shortest day and the longest night. So let yourself just feel that. Feel into your bodies. It has been a long year, a wild and crazy year. So let yourselves settle, and we're going to look at what's here and what's coming. And for those of you that missed the Gemini full moon, we're going to talk a little bit about that to bring you up to speed. But suffice it to say, and I've said this before, just astrologically speaking, this is always a new beginning. This is always um, the beginning of the growing season in the Northern Hemisphere. And this particular time, we have massive support to do whatever it is we need to be doing. Mostly, we have massive support for transformation, which is what we're seeing on the planet and why this year has felt so tumultuous. Lots of things are moving and changing. So, for those of you that missed out, we just are coming off of a Gemini full moon, where we were playfully encouraged to release anything not serving us and to prepare for a great time of manifestation. There was during that moon, and we're still feeling the effects of this, there was a strong T square with Neptune and Pisces. Both the sign and the planet support inspired creativity, functioning in the zone. These energies also help us work with our dreams and experience more unconditional love and compassion. Mercury went direct, so forward movement is now encouraged. Excuse me. And Neptune is still in Pisces, so is Saturn. There is a lot of support for that big love, is what I call it. And we're moving into this very potent time today, which is the return of the sun at winter solstice. A time of new beginnings, a time to begin preparing the seed beds and begin to plant seeds for what is coming. So tomorrow the light comes back. The sun is in Capricorn, and that means a lot of support for structured planning and dreaming, all of the things we've been feeling into over the past few weeks. Now we can begin to add concrete structure to them to support them. But before we talk about that, we want to just make sure everyone knows what the winter solstice is. Astrologically, it's when the sun is the furthest distance from the equator. So right now, those of us in the northern hemisphere, our winter, the sun is very far to the south of the equator. For folks in the southern hemisphere, it's going to be summer solstice. Okay. So on December 21st, the sun is at the southmost point from the equator at 0 degrees Capricorn on the zodiac wheel. So we consider this the day of summer solstice or winter solstice, the shortest day, the longest night. For those in the northern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice and the longest day and the shortest night. Um, it's also the time when the Earth's North Pole is most extremely inclined away from the sun, and the South Pole is most extremely inclined toward the sun. That tilt in the Earth's axis is what causes us to experience the long or short days and nights, the changing of their length. So this day is like a tipping point. It's like we're moving to that place where everything shifts and the days start to get longer again. Um, at least in the northern hemisphere, and just the opposite in the southern hemisphere. It's the official beginning of preparing for the growing season. Its influence, when we look at these big movements, usually lasts about 3 months. So and I pulled up a chart for the solstice day so that we can see some of the things that are going to be happening. But suffice it to know that ancient peoples all over the world have honored this moment and seen it as a potent window of transformation for eons of time. You can find, there's temples everywhere or stone formations where that winter solstice sun will be the first thing that pops through. And they were built in order to catch it. Almost all traditions pause at some time during this time when the sun seems to stand still and we take time to reflect, revise, recharge, and renew. And so that's what my plan for us is today. So here's the chart. You'll notice, first of all, there's a lot of things going on here, but the main one that I see for this specific day, we're even in the we're in the throes of a bigger movement, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But this is what we would call a mutable grand cross, which means that all of the main players in this cross, Saturn, which is a big main player, the moon, Mercury, and Jupiter. Those are some heavy hitters, two of the largest planets out there. They're all in mutable signs. And so that means that they can move and they can move quickly. So this indicates, it's kind of like a foreshadowing of what is to come. Being able to pivot, being able to make quick changes easily and efficiently in the moment. So that gives us an indicator of what we can expect for the next 3 months. Being able to move to, you can have a plan, but be able to adjust that plan quickly and easily. And we need to be able to do that as we move forward during this coming year. This also includes this lovely little Saturn Pisces squaring Jupiter in Gemini, which we're going to talk to. And it is part of a bigger movement that began back in 2020. So that square that we were looking at, it's like 14 degrees here, 13 degrees here. It will be exact on Christmas Eve, December 24th. That influence of Saturn and Jupiter, when they began dancing with each other, began on July 6th, and they made their first exact square on August 19th. The second exact square happens again on Christmas Eve, and then there will be a final one in June June 15th of 2025. So this is a movement, and you're going to see how big of a movement it is, but it supports inspired thinking, communication, law of attraction energy, being able to brainstorm and make practical plans for practical outcomes. In other words, it has the potential to be a very creative time. Now, here's the bigger movement. This is the waxing or building square of the great conjunction that happened in 2020. And it marks the first major turning point of that major conjunction with Jupiter and Saturn. This was one of the decade's most important influences. And here is why. Oops, hang on. The Jupiter Saturn conjunction happens every 20 years. This one began in 2020, about 8 hours after the winter solstice, and on the same day. We haven't had a Jupiter Saturn conjunction that close to the Earth since 1623. So, this is one of the most celebrated omens in ancient astrology. Many believe that the Star of Bethlehem, which lit up the sky back in 7 BC, was a Jupiter Saturn conjunction in the spiritual sign of Pisces. And so here we have Saturn in Pisces again, and they're lined up again. So it's right now we have this little movement, but it's part of a bigger one, a bigger influence that's all going to end in 7 months. So I'll keep going. It began at 0 Aquarius back in 2020, which for many people signified the beginning of the Aquarian age, the official beginning. It also began on the winter solstice, which is the start of an astrological new year. But we've been under that big influence for 4 years. And the influence of that big movement is going to end midsummer of 2025. So just let this kind of go in. The healthiest expression of Aquarius supports inspired individual expression that helps the collective thrive. And if we look back over the past 4 years, we can see all the messiness of that transformation. But we can also see glimmers of hope for a brighter tomorrow. And I feel like we all feel that in our bodies right now. I mean, this is a big movement. So we have a mere 7 months left to take advantage of this energy to move things in our personal lives and shift for the better. And we've been through a lot of transformation already. So hopefully the dust is beginning to settle a little bit, and we can begin to start really making plans for our future. We're in a time of radical change, and we're going to need that radical change to shift ourselves to where we need to go so that our planet and the species on our planet can survive. So it feels to me like this is a moment when we can take really good advantage of some softness out there, some real support of us diving deep into the spiritual realm to get the guidance that we need. So what all this means practically is plan for the future. Dream it in right now. The energy of Jupiter and Saturn is extraordinary. There hasn't been one of these in 400 years. Yes, we absolutely will, Linda. We will need each other more than ever. The astrological energy is inherently neutral. So whether it expresses positively or negatively is up to us. And I want to really encourage you to, as much as you can, stay out of fear and focus on the positive. That's why we showed up here at this time, was because some of us were such Pollyannas that we could not believe in a bright tomorrow. And that kind of energy is what's going to push us in one direction or the other. If we're fearful, whatever we're holding, we can manifest it. But if we're joyful and we trust in right behavior and right thought and right emotion, we can shift the tide of whatever some may like to, scare us into thinking is coming. So now is the time to begin to ask these kinds of questions. What kind of life affirming, awe inspiring world can we create together? How can you manifest this more wonderful reality in your own life right now? Are you stepping into the highest expression of Aquarius? Using all of that Piscean energy that's present. How can you use your special gifts and talents in ways that delight you and serve the collective? Do you want to live your most satisfying life, fulfill your life purpose, and help bring in the new Aquarian age? Um, and if you can't answer yes to some of those, like if you're living your highest expression, why not? What's in your way? What do you need to release under that playful Gemini full moon, which, it influences us for 2 weeks. So you still have time to do that to make it so. Your optimal strategy is to follow your intuition. So here's some questions that you can journal with for a few moments. I'm going to give us a light infusion today as part of our ceremony. So I want you to spend some time. I have several slides with questions on them. Spend some time journaling what you need to release and what seeds you want to plant in your new seed bed for the coming year. So, what do I need to release once and for all? What do I need to let go of that can lead me to living my best life and fulfilling my purpose? How can I expansively grow my income or anything else I want to grow in 2025? What do I need to work on in my relationships? What do I want to create in 2025? Now is the time to prepare. So begin there. Then I have a few more as soon as we journal with those for a few minutes. All right, during the both the solstices, but during the solstice, the veil between the dimensions is very thin. So even though we're at the darkest point on the astrological wheel, the light, and when I say light, I don't just mean the sun's light, I mean dimensional light, galactic light, shines through very brightly. Guidance. So now's the time to dig deep and hear important information just for us. Um, is everybody able to hear me okay? Or is that just Rebecca? Okay. Okay. Cool. Um, so now's the time to dig deep and get that information, that personal information, um, starting right now, but all the way through overnight and into the coming week. Um, and so for me, it always makes sense, when we asked these questions, a lot of those answers probably came from your ego. Um, they came from your immediate brain that says, oh, I need to do this and I need to do this and this is what I want, which is great. We need that input. But I want us to take a minute to check in with the part of us that really knows us, that knows why we came, that knows our history, that has traveled with us this whole time, knows all of our dimensional selves, and that's your soul. And so our ego is always a good navigational tool when it comes to astrology, but I feel like our soul gives us a perspective. It gives us our own personal wisdom. And I feel like our soul can have really good guidance for us if we open to that. So I'm going to just take you there for a moment. You can close your eyes for a minute and just drop yourself down into your heart and just breathe into your heart. Your soul, which is your first dimensional self, is a tiny little seed of light that lives in what scientists now call the fifth chamber of your heart, which is over to one side of your heart, but will feel like the center of your chest. So, the center of your heart chakra. And the cells of your heart that welcomed your soul are still there. Your heart cells don't regenerate. So the original cells that invited you to the planet and welcomed you as a tiny little seed of light are still in your heart, having a love fest with your soul. So see if you can just drop in and find that little room, that little place of light that is the you that came with you from the realms of the divine, that brought the big love of the divine with you to this planet, that hold your wisdom. Connect with that part of you, that part of you that loves so big. Let yourself begin to feel that love, the love you feel for all of your loved ones, the love the divine feels for you. Within that space is your wise self, the wisdom of the ages housed inside your body. Breathe into that quiet place. What is the flavor of love that your soul came to bring to this planet? And how are you going to do that? And so when you're ready, you can open your eyes and begin writing. And from your soul's perspective, what are you supposed to be creating? What support do you need for that? And how does your soul propose that we support ourselves and this planet during this time of transition? See what your soul has to say. Just let it start pouring out on the page. What are some of your desired outcomes for 2025 for yourself, for your business, for your family, for the planet? What would you and your soul like to see happen? So take a few minutes and get really clear on some desired outcomes that you want to focus on. And go ahead and write those down. And then we're going to do a light infusion treatment for the whole group. I'll give you a little bit more time, a few more seconds to get really clear on some desired outcomes. You'll have time to tweak these later, but this will give all of those intentions a burst of light, and it will help your body begin to digest more light. So get comfortable, and we're going to dive in. And the first thing I want you to do is close your eyes once again and connect with your soul. Drop into that place in your heart so that you can feel it. Let yourself feel the love that's there. I acknowledge and connect all of you to your source light center point, your soul. I ask that you open and shine the light of your soul through your golden spiral and activate your source light energy field for this light infusion treatment. I activate within your Merkaba the harmony of the original sacred geometries of this planet. I activate all source light symbols and the 60 light frequencies in your source light point, your golden spiral, and your source light energy field. I infuse into your source light point, your golden spiral, and your source light energy field this light infusion treatment. I activate the harmonies of these geometries, outcomes, and frequencies within your source light energy field and shine these energies out into your world to bless everyone, everything, and every situation you meet. I ask that we connect individually to our source light points, our source light, and our source light energy fields, and that our fields connect to and through the source light energy field of Gaia. I engage your soul, your source light point, and your source light energy field to initiate and activate opportunities for healing, creation, growth, and restoration. I anchor in 5 seed or origination source light symbols at your 3 source light energy centers, at your head, at your heart, and at your low belly to hold and support the fulfillment of the following outcomes and frequencies: maintained connection to our own personal source light, our own soul. Restoration of balance to our material world in all aspects. Receiving the new light coming in ways that serve us and those we love. Open-hearted joy for all beings. And your desired outcomes. So take a moment to just remember them, recite them in your mind. And we're going to do that with the following frequencies: stability, empowerment, understanding, nurturance. And I pulled three more for us today: receptivity, endurance, and celebration. So let's just take a moment and let all of those settle and anchor in. I declare these outcomes to be so and infuse and integrate completion into your soul, your source light point, your golden spiral, and your source light energy field. As these energies are activated and engaged, I close this infusion in the light. And so it is. So you can take a moment, maybe roll your shoulders around, wiggle your fingers and toes. Let yourself become present. If you are interested in organizing yourself in a formal way, so you can experience what the real light infusion of the year is like, you may want to consider joining me for Enchanted Year. This year, everyone gets a free Enchanted Year, 165-page free Enchanted Year planner, um, where you can map out every month, and we'll sit down together and plan our year. Only 2 hours a day on the 28th, 29th, and 30th. We'll plan the year of 2025. And I will also teach you how to use the planner so you can keep track of this on a monthly, weekly, daily basis, if you choose, and how to use the um, Source Light protocol to empower all of those desired outcomes that you wrote down. Um, so during that time, we'll engage the enchantress by reconnecting with our soul. We'll engage the creatrix by creating from our soul, and we'll engage ceremony to maintain that connection. It's a place to dip your toe in and experience bringing more light into your whole year by letting your soul drive the car. So I've been sending out invitations to that. It will go out again with the recording today. Also, Source Light School is happening January 16th again this year. For those of you that have been in year one this year, year two is beginning on the 9th. More information about that will follow as well. In Source Light School, we learn what we just did. We learn the process of connecting to our soul every day. We actually teach our bodies to digest more light, and we learn all of the 12 dimensions. We actually go there in meditation to each one, learn what they are and the gifts that they offer us, and how to use sacred geometry to access your wisdom, how to connect with our hearts and reach our fullest potential. So that's coming. Also, new rounds of Sacred Rhythms, Body Wisdom Boot Camp, Source Light School Year 2, and Source Light Priestess will come again in March. So lots of big things on the horizon. And I'm sure you have put down big things for yourself that will want to dance in after this light infusion right now. So let's go ahead and activate all of those new things that we just anchored in. Here we go. Everybody get up. Happy holidays, everyone. Good, good, good. Let's get this undone. So now they make us look at everyone. In order to get out of here, I have to stop the share. So it's good to see all of you. So glad all of you are here. Everyone, please have a safe and happy holiday. And I will see you next year, if not before.